walking around it? No. Start talking about talking about it. Yeah. What's going on? It's Charles Reynolds. David Charles Reynolds Show. This is podcast episode 4. Recently, I've been speaking about what your habits need to be if you want to be a successful creative, right? I'm a visionary. So when God plants a vision in my mind, in my heart, my ability to simplify it in a way that is responsible when I'm expressing myself through my creative structure of an attractive marketing plan or schedule, right? I don't necessarily believe in planning your entire month for marketing content before you start marketing. No, I'm more intuitive. It's just like, right, what is today telling me to post right now? But having the framework, having a structure that you can actually use to make sure that you're expressing yourself and telling your audience what all the important parts of your brand are, right? So the fundamental parts of a brand, of your personal brand, then before you start telling your story, before you start telling everyone who you are and giving them a bio of your life story or things like that, I think it's more important to understand who you're speaking to, who your audience are, right? The analogy of leaning your ladder on the right building before you start to climb. And for years and years and years, I was talking to the wrong people. I was talking to people who may never ever buy my coaching services from me. I was getting into conversations with people who had different agendas to the intention of the conversation and to the intention of having the difficult conversation, because I pride myself on being able to have difficult conversations with people to help them navigate their own personal and business lives, because I believe that you do not have a business problem. It's more that you are not able to confide in your own evidence of skills that you've built, seeking validation and approval, hoping people would accept that, you're the one that they should buy from because you have this great, amazing skill set. But did anyone teach you how to market and sell? If you went to university and you learned your amazing skill set, did anybody teach you how to market and sell in the real world as a creative? So for the last 10 years, 10 plus years, we're in the 11th year now of me, trying, right? And I won't say like I was really, really trying. I wasn't really trying. What I was more focusing on, I was observing, looking at what God had planted in my heart, right? Like if I'm breaking a generational curse, how do I make sure that I'm not overwhelmed by the generational curse that I have to break? The task of doing something that is completely different to everyone who I would identify as my peer. I learned from my mentors and my coaches different. I paid attention different. When you invest £20,000 into yourself over an 18-month period, which I did, more than 10 years ago, within an 18-month period, you're going to learn something. But when it's all you have, when you have no more money in the bank after you've invested everything that you earn each month, right? So I was earning about, I was earning a decent amount, but I was investing £1,000 a month in mentorship at one point, and I took a £3,000 course here, a £500 course there. I just kept learning. This was over and a year and a half period, right? And in that time, I paid attention differently, okay? Because it was all I had. I didn't have any more money, all right? It's not like I looked in the bank and thought, yeah, this bucket is my investment bucket. This bucket is my tax bucket. This bucket is my, for stocks and trades and whatever it is you wanna use your financial literacy 101, that type thing. I didn't have any financial literacy, so I didn't really understand. Like, all I knew was, look, I want to make my life better. I want to understand how to, be an awesome transformational coach. But something kept blocking my signal. Something didn't seem right. I spoke about, always feeling like I was in second place to my own dreams, right? And I'm the only one that could be David Charles Reynolds, right? I'm the only one that could be myself. And when you know that you are being your true, authentic self, you can't expect people to believe in you until you believe in yourself, right? Until you have the confidence to step out into the world and say, hey, this is who I am, and if you don't like me, I don't really care. But if you love me, I really, really care. And I'm here to be loved, right? And that is pretty much where I want to talk. That's pretty much the topic I want to speak on today, which is your ability to be an attractive marketer and a creative seller, right? So your attractive marketing will be putting out your personal brand on social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or whatever platform you believe your audience are in, making sure that your ladder is leaning on the right building. And then when you're talking to your audience, where your audience are congregating, usually it's in the comments section of your posts, right? It's the comments section of potential collaborations, right? Potential collaborative partners who post on social media who have a bigger audience than you, but their audience is similar to the type of audience you would serve. You would then go and, have conversations in the comment section of their social media posts, right? And where your audience are congregating, that's how you tend to develop. I won't say no like and trust factor. I would say you become human to people, right? In a world where AI is becoming very dominant and people seem to delegate their voice to artificial intelligence, which I believe in the long run is crazy. And you know me, I played a long game, 10 years, more than 10 years. I've been curating my systems and processes as a creative, right? Having to remember a lot of the things after shedding. Last year was the year of the snake, right? So shedding is relevant. But I shredded all my journals because I noticed people were reading my journals, which was strange. And it's quite illegal as well. But anyway, so what I did was that, I don't want to I felt violated. So I shredded all my journals and I started to upgrade this, right? Started to use my brain, right? And instead of putting all my ideas in a journal where I could procrastinate and think about it and, wonder if it's a good idea and make it a little bit better and take my time, I just started to become attractive in the way I market. How? Being authentic. How? Telling the truth. Telling the truth about what I believe about things. Not tolerating, people trying to benefit from my silence. If I've chosen to be silent because I'm a creative and I'm, maybe in a process of healing something and I'm just like observing and I'm kind of sitting back and wondering a little bit and listening to God. And I notice that people use my silence as a sign that I don't know, maybe they think I was weak or something like that. When you get that kind of treatment from people, you need to understand that you are actually accessing a different level. You are becoming someone who is extraordinary, right? And you are opening the gateway to abundance. And when you're doing that, envy, people are going to be envious of you. Now, healthy envy is when someone can tell you, hey, look, what you're doing is really good, right? I grew up in North London, so we say, what you're doing is sick. Right? Oh, that's cool, that's wicked. Yeah. So if someone's able to tell you that and then say, I'm envious of you, what you're doing is sick, what you're doing is good, and I'm envious. I want to know how to do that. When someone says that, that's healthy. Unhealthy is when someone says, I wish I had what you have. That's a red flag. I wish I was who you are. I wish I was like you. And I don't believe there's anybody in this world like you. You are the only person who has the gift of your imperfect story. Big up Brene Brown, right? You can go read that book, Gifts of Imperfection. But like your imperfect story, your authenticity, that's who you are. That's your story, and your ability to tell your story better than anyone else can is how your personal brand becomes extremely powerful, and your marketing becomes very attractive because it pierces through the AI. Is it him talking, or is it has he delegated this podcast task to his AI? Is it Google Gemini? Is it David? Are you talking? Is it you? I don't know. Is it? That's the world we live in right now, isn't it? Strange. It's very strange online. You don't even know what you're watching. You don't even know if it's real or fake. So your authenticity is the only thing that you have. You're able to elicit emotion from your audience differently. So the more human you are, the more you stand a chance of connecting to your audience. And you must connect to your audience before you can show them just how much you can help them. If they can't connect, then it doesn't happen. It doesn't work. Walking around it, nah. Start talking about it. Yeah, the £100,000 a year woman. Now, if you were to neatly divide that into 10 working months of the year with 2 months holiday, you're making a creative income of £10,000 a month, right? But in my process, when I'm helping a creative woman, I'm not teaching her how to be a woman in business. No. That's not my game. What I'm doing is I'm making her aware of something that she may not be focusing on, or at least showing that she has an awareness to. What is that? It's the fact that when you become successful, when you start to earn money, when you start to provide for yourself as a woman, if you are interested in having one relationship with a good masculine man, in your life at some point, and you don't just want to have a relationship with Jesus, a lot of women, they tend to say that they are married to Jesus Christ and things like that, right? I'm not not religious, but I hear it, okay? And not to get all theological on you, but anytime you put someone as a placeholder, or something, or an idea of someone as a placeholder, you immediately repel the people who would want to be there. If you replace a provider, a good masculine man as a provider in your life, if you replace him with yourself, if you become the man in your relationship, he's a heterosexual male. He's gonna want to be your buddy, and that's it. Look at that how you want. He's gonna want to be your buddy. That's it. All right. Because all you're doing is you're telling him that he can't be some of himself. He has to suppress part of himself. And what I've learned is that when you suppress one area of your life, when you suppress one form of expressing yourself, you suppress them all. You suppress everything. So it's not like you stop, doing the thing that you love doing, but then you can do other things in your life and be really happy. No. Just go and ask athletes female sprinters who are earning a lot of money. Some of them have reached millions. But when they're not happy in other areas of their life, it can stagnate their growth. And you're either growing or you're not growing. There's no middle ground. You're either evolving or you're devolving, right? And if you want to evolve, if you want to be on the upward cycle of growth, then you need to have the right teammates. Bright people need teammates. And those teammates have to not want to play dark mind games with your livelihood from the moment you wake up in the morning to when you go to sleep at night. You need teammates who have your back when you're not in the room. You need teammates who want to grow with you. You want people who don't take your kindness for weak permission. Weakness, right? W-E-A-K. Weak. If you're being weak, if you're not showing up as your strong self, it sends a message. It says, hey, I'm not sure. And because I'm not sure, I need your validation and approval. And because I need your validation and approval, I am always at the whim of your emotional baggage, whatever emotional baggage you're presenting that day. That's what I have to deal with, because you are saying yes, maybe not now, tacit forms of approval. When you become attractive in your marketing, you stop all of that. You say what you want to say, and you say it with your chest, right? There aren't any consequences for saying it with your chest. All you're going to do is find out who people really are, right? You're going to find out that the people who you thought were on your team aren't. You had an expectation that they were on your team, but they were not. You're going to find out that the friends that you are trying to market to, the people you grew up with, the people who your closest friends, your buddies, your brethrens, your mates, what you're going to notice is that they never agreed to the version of you that you're becoming. They never agreed to be the friend of the version of you that you were growing into. They agreed to be your friend when you were being a lesser version of yourself, whilst you were maybe more depressed. Probably didn't even know how to articulate it back then. I know I didn't. I didn't know what depression was. I just knew that if I'm not if I can't paint on a canvas, right, then I'm leaving my inner child behind. That's going to make me feel suppressed in some way. And if I feel suppressed, then it suppresses all areas, right? So, bright teammates are the people who don't just attach to you. They don't just like leech onto you, right? They have difficult conversations with you to agree to be on your team. They make sure that when when you agree to team up, when you agree to be together, when you agree those things, right? You can also, the very next day, you're an adult, you can the very next day you can just disagree, and you can say, oh no, this doesn't fit with my values, my morals, my beliefs, my north star, my compass. This isn't what I agreed to. No, 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 no. That wasn't my intention. No, that's not what I meant when I said that. You're allowed to, rip up the verbal contract. You're allowed to say, no, that doesn't work for me anymore. Because the one person you do not want to betray when you're being betrayed is yourself. Do not join other people in betraying you when you are being yourself. If they don't like you when you're marketing authentically, they are not your people. That's it. That's it. There are plenty more people who value what you do as a creative business person, as a creative woman. There are plenty of people who value what you do, right? Now, obviously, I'm focusing on helping creative women before I help the creative man. And one of the reasons I'm doing that is because in my life, my mum helped me. And I only created a better relationship with my dad later on in life, actually quite recently, in my adulthood, last few years. But then growing up, my mum helped me. My mum was always there. She really tried. She helped me with my self-esteem. She always told me I was a bright boy, gave me words of affirmation, made me believe in my own hype, my own self. She made me believe in myself. And I'll always be truly grateful and thankful for everything she did for me. And she's, still to this day, I get to thank her, and I keep telling her, I appreciate her. Whenever I remember to tell her, I tell her that I appreciate her because of everything she did for me. And she is irreplaceable, and something I teach my daughter is that your feminine belief in me, your belief in me from a feminine place is like, I haven't really told my daughter this yet, but this is something I'm trying to show her, right? It's medicine to me. When I give my daughter a hug in the morning, every morning before she goes to school, something, I feel invigorated. I feel like I can really take on the day, and I feel at peace. I feel motivated to, move mountains for her, and all she has to do is just be herself. It's not exhausting. When you want teammates, right? Obviously my daughter's quite young, so she's my daughter. I don't put the pressure on her of being my teammate, right? But that's like something that I get to enjoy her as my daughter, right? Now, but if we're talking adult teammates, you need people who don't have double standards, who don't try to say one thing, do something completely different, right? You need people who can commit. You need people who don't switch up on you. You need people who don't lie to you. They don't cheat you. This is what you need for your peace of mind. You don't need to battle your teammates and go out onto the pitch and battle the other team as well. You don't want people in your team scoring own goals, basically, yeah? So I'm saying £100,000 a year creative woman, £10,000 a month is possible with the creative structures I've created. But it doesn't quite work evenly like that. It's not £10,000 that you make every month, or not, at least not at the start. When you're creating your personal brand, the first 6 weeks, what you want to do is post. In my process, I get you to post 30 times, and I check every single post you make, and then I mark it like like a teacher would in school. And this is like my inner child, like I'm correcting your work. I'm saying, hey, oh, great, you said this. Oh, I love that you said that. No, don't say that yet. Wait. Leave that out for the next post, and then say it a bit down the line. Oh, yeah. Say that. Okay, cool. Oh, you missed this out. Oh, add this. That's I really enjoy doing that. You can see I get really, really happy. Why? Because I understand how to unlock the trust factor in your audience, right? So that they can believe in you, and they start to buy into your language, and they start to speak your love language the way you want them to congregate. They start to feel a part of your brand. They start to feel like they belong. All right. So you keep saying who you are, and then the world will keep reflecting back who you can attract, right? The different type of people. So without making this like some rant where I keep going on and on and on and on and on. Those first 6 weeks is how you turn your business around, make it a high touch luxury brand. If it has that feel, then people will be like, yeah, I'm digging your brand. I like your thing. I like what you're doing. I want to be a part of it, right? Now, people can make decisions within 24 hours if they want to get on board and pay you for your services, for your creative services, whether you're a beauty salon owner, whether you're a yoga studio owner, whether you work from home and you knit like Care Bears or whatever it is you might do, you bake cakes. People will pay for your services, but you might as well be the best. And better than the best, you might as well be the only one that does what you do, because then you're uncopyable. That's what I help you do. In my self-confidence formation, I give you the most clarity you've ever had in your entire life in a 7-day period. And in that 7 days, we really look at every area of your self-confidence, your self-esteem, and your self-worthiness, because you don't have a business problem. Once you're feeling confident, then you become unstoppable, right? You just go. You just start marketing your brand. You start telling people what it is you do. And because you're so clear about who you work with and who you don't want to work with, and who you are as a person and who you're not, people start to understand, right, this is for me, or this isn't for me, or, oh yeah, that's me. And, they start to identify themselves as someone who would work with you, or, who would hire you for your services. Anyway, this has been David, Attractive Marketing and Creative Sales. Talked a little bit about that. And here's my son. Obviously, it's time for me to get him ready to go to school. Do you want to say hi? Say hi in the camera. There you go. All right, cool. So yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to know more, if you want to know how you can work with me personally, and we can turn your personal business around in the next 6 weeks from your chosen start date. 6 weeks from there, we'll completely turn your personal business around. You can look in the description. I'll post a link for you below, and you can message me to work with me. You can also join my email list. But hey, remember, you're the only one that's you. There's no one youer than you. You feel me, Phoenix? There ain't no one youer than you. You're the only you that exists in this world.
And only me.
Only him, and only you, and only me. All right? There's no one else that can copy who you are, because they don't have your story. They can try, but they won't get very far. All right? Be yourself. Keep shining bright. And if you think this will help someone, do share. Share my YouTube video. Share where you see this, whatever platform you listening to this on, and help someone else out, right? Like, let someone see that they can be themselves too. Like and comment.
Why is the green thing moving?
Walking around it, nah. Start talking about talking about it. Yeah. Oh, and big up Ronaldo, R9, best striker that's ever played a game of football. All right, cool. Speak soon. Bye.